We believe in passive investing first, just so that you can ask questions and understand what you're doing and what you're getting into. If you want to be an investor, invest first. And that's a model that has been demonstrated to us. We invested passively with people that we wanted to ride on GP teams with. And that's how we worked.
Welcome back to The Real Grind, guys. It is season 2, and we're super excited to do a season 2 because Italo, season 1, it was just amazing. We had 37 episodes, and that was great.
But let's keep the energy up. You know, every episode feels like it's the first one because we're always so happy, excited to hear new stories, you know? Like, I'm pumped. This season is gonna be fun. New studio, I'm excited.
New beginnings for sure, and super excited about today's guest because she's gonna drop some bombs. I'm a big fan personally, but hold on, let's get the show started. Season 2, baby, let's go.
Waking up to success, now we're getting it started. This is the real grind. Everything you've been wanting, building an empire, no question. Talking about real estate, investing, making the millions, no stopping. While we sip on gourmet coffee, the real grind. This is the real grind. Let's go.
And this is The Real Grind Season 2, and today, this guest is actually a dear friend of mine. I love her family so much, and she's an awesome friend. She is a trainer, a 10X coach, she's an investor, business owner, and once again, a great friend here at the Empire Companies. We're welcoming on the stage, Jana Uselton. Let's go! Thank you so much for coming. What a pleasure.
I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, this is great, Jana. You know, I've been trying to get Jana to come here on the show for a long time, probably about a year. But there she is.
I'm
She
here.
got a busy schedule with all these things going on. But once again, thank you for being here. We're a big fan of you. We're really appreciative of the partnership that we have together and also the friendship for sure.
I love that. I love that we're partners. That's amazing.
That is very incredible, you know, and we love about learning from each other and stuff. So definitely a very good, you know, we always say that we are looking for long-term relationships, long-term partnerships. It's not just right now, but in the long term. And I'm glad that we're in the venture with you guys. Jana, we no far to do. We're going to talk about you. Beginnings, who are you and you growing up? Because I know you had a lot of businesses. And were you always this entrepreneur when you were growing up? But talk a little bit about you.
Well, you know, it did start in Paris, but unfortunately it was Paris, Texas.
Paris, parlez-vous français?
And if you know much about Paris, Texas, it's a very small town, as
Yes.
you can imagine. Paris, right? We do have an Eiffel Tower. It does have a cowboy hat on top of it. And it is
Because
definitely—
it is in Texas.
That's
It
right.
has to, you know.
That's right. And I would say that I kind of lived life by default, like a lot of people, small town USA, and good, hardworking parents. Mom was a nurse, dad was a welder, but then he kind of stumbled into business ownership. And that's really where the mentorship that I didn't know, he was definitely my first mentor. So I watched him just make a business, turn a business into, you know, a few $100,000 to multi-million-dollar business. And he was definitely my first coach.
And that was from the beginning. You saw the whole stage, you remember?
Absolutely. Because he bought this company. I was in middle school going into high school. So I was old enough to watch, you know, and ask questions. I even helped him in that business over a couple of summers. And he ended up selling, which was amazing. And they hired him back to run the company. And no, high school degree, no college degree. Definitely, if you want it done right, do it yourself. I saw the good, and I also saw the lessons there that I believed in team. And I believe that that's what's allowed me to continue to grow businesses, modeling after what he did, and then also some of those lessons learned in the process.
Definitely. But Jana, talk to me. Was it easy to work with your dad? 'Cause some people love and hate. I work partially with my dad, and I know it's a love and hate relationship. I probably hated a little bit at the time, but now it's so much value, just like you said.
So much value. I think that parents' job is to raise great kids that are a benefit to society, right? That is really our job as parents. And so he modeled that from me. We weren't friends at that age. He was a business owner. Yes, he was my dad. I probably got away with a few things that I shouldn't have, but I was the girl. So he was a little easier on me, maybe than not so much if I would have been the son. But gosh, it was just great. I didn't know it at the time, but I was definitely learning lessons.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I do. And there's a big age gap. So I do see that, in the process of growing and family and traditions, they have also turned out to be some good business owners in those early years. And then, it's going to continue to their kids and our kids as well.
Yeah, absolutely. When our parents and we see somebody's really passionate what they do, it's just like you want to do it, right? No matter, even though if you're a business owner or just a professional, let's say you were a lawyer or anything, but when you're really passionate about it and your kids get passionate with you, they're proud of what you do and stuff. So were you that? I can tell he was a really passionate guy.
For sure. I think having a business owner in the family allows a different mindset. My mother working as an employee versus my father being a business owner, I got the best of both worlds. I got to see those cash flow quadrants, so to speak. And I definitely leaned more towards the entrepreneurship for sure.
Hey, yeah. And what happened then after you grew up and it's like, man, I got to be an entrepreneur myself. Did you ever work in a W-2 job?
Well, I did. I definitely, I didn't work in food, or I did a little bit of retail, but it was, I think, an early job, which you may not know this about us, but my husband and I worked with a professional cheer company that actually, they would send us out all over the country and we would train up the high school cheerleaders for their season, college cheerleaders, all of that. So we cheered in college. We ran camps with thousands of high school cheerleaders. You can only imagine the craziness of that. And it was the early years of now leading and coaching. And I believe in those early years of my college, going through that and having to make it work and be a problem solver that gave me the skills to be able to run multiple businesses for sure.
That's amazing, dude. I didn't know that. That's like the cheerleading business. And I cannot, so you had two boys.
Had two boys. So now we're football.
No football.
I come from cheerleading and, and now we are all about football. We did not get the girl. I'm now my niece, she's the girl. So of course we have two nieces now and we get to spoil them rotten. But we had the broken bones. We had the games, we had the dirt and the mud. But that's okay. I think I was a little bit of a tomboy, and so I was fine with it. Our sons are amazing. Wouldn't trade them in.
Well, that's lovely. And I can see, I know both of your boys, and I can tell that they're passionate about you guys' business as well, which we're going to talk a little bit in detail what those businesses are. But they look like they're really passionate about what you guys and the legacy you guys are creating, aren't they?
I think they trust the jockeys and they know that our horses are real estate. They love real estate, but they also are seeing the success in us putting our heads down, working it out. And, they learn so many skills as business owners and working in businesses. There's so many skills to learn when it comes to sales and marketing and client care. And they're just on that journey with us, but they definitely see the benefit. The ultimate goal is ownership in real estate, multifamily for
100%. And we're going to talk today here in the show how Jana is building her empire and with her team. It's just amazing stories that we're glad to say that we part of it as well. But guess what time it is right now?
I'm ready.
It is coffee time. Let's go.
What up? Jana, how's it going? So
great.
Good to see you.
So good to see you as well.
Likewise.
Italo, we have to ask that question. Do you like coffee?
Do I love coffee?
Yeah, do you like it? Or you love it?
I love coffee.
Love
I
coffee?
am a social coffee drinker. I'm not the kind that has to get up every single morning. I can't function without it. I see it as a treat.
Right on.
Oh, right on. So you try specialty coffee before?
Of course. Now, you probably don't judge me, but I do have the Nespresso, but I love the flavors and it's all I need.
You know what's funny? Nowadays, whenever we talk coffee with people, like anybody that comes in, they're always so scared. They're like, well, it was like, don't take it that way. Yeah,
man.
That's what I tell people. You know what the best coffee is? The coffee that you like. That's what I usually tell people. Whatever is your favorite, even though it's that burnt coffee,
I
if you love
disagree.
it.
If you love it, then you do it wrong. I'm just kidding.
But Jana, so this coffee that we're trying today came all the way from Brazil. Another one that when I went on my trip in there, because people see that we do all this coffee stuff on the podcast, so I just get showered with like gifts. They're like, here, can you take my coffee? Absolutely. So this one is from Grão da Serra, which means beans from the mountain, I guess, something like that. But this guy sent this to us. This is the first time we're gonna try this out, okay? So let me put this right here for you. You know what? I was a waiter before, and there was the thing that I hate the most was serving coffee.
Why?
Because I don't know, as soon as I touch that thing, I don't have a steady hand, so I'm always like, so I hated serving coffee when I was a waiter. Neander, this one is for you.
All right, man.
Now, do you judge people? Not that I need it now, but do you judge people that doctor coffee?
That what?
Doctor it, like little cream, little sugar.
It depends.
Oh, he says yes.
This type of coffee, yes.
Okay, but because that's the thing. You're going to try this, and just a little perspective. It almost feels like a tea. And there's sweetens in the coffee that doesn't require. And we explain a little bit. I'll let you try first and see if you're going to need
just
all
like
this
wine, okay? Smell it, give it a good smell. And then it's kind of, you can actually slurp on it.
Got to do the noise, Jana.
I'm a girl.
It does-
Am I supposed to? That's, you know.
That's
But
how you get
this
off.
is really good.
Yeah.
This is good.
So, man, this is really good. It's a sweet
Wow.
coffee.
There, I can
it's
taste
very
a little bit
sweet.
of the sweetness.
There's no sugar
I'm not
whatsoever.
joking. I got goosebumps on this one. That's one of the best ones we had in a long time, I think.
That is actually very sweet coffee because this is what happens, just like grapes and the coffee. If you guys are watching for a long time, you guys are probably educated on this, but coffee bean, the fruit is actually sweeter than a grape. Okay. So whenever we do all the process, the coffee is supposed to be sweet, but then when they over roast it and they mix with other stuff, that's where we get that burnt sensation. But this is the best coffee like that, the right temperature, and then you get all the flavors from what the region is. What's the tones from this one?
This one, what do you sense on that as far as flavor, Jana? Let's see, because you like the flavor on coffee. Anything that sticks out for you? Anything that you can point out? But if not, it's okay.
No, I'm going to defer to the experts.
It's kind of honey-ish,
Okay. So it says
caramel.
citric fruits, caramel, chocolate, and especiarias. I don't know how to say that in English.
know.
I fail on my
So
Rosetta Stone.
think about caramel taste and now sip it.
Let it sit in your mouth a little bit, and you.
Definitely the aftertaste or as it goes down.
Yeah,
right?
isn't it cool? Yeah.
Yes.
So one thing that's pretty cool when I ask people like, do you drink coffee? And a lot of times people are like, no, I stopped there. And I ask them why. They're like, well, that aftertaste and it gives me heartburn. All of that is because you're drinking charcoal. So all those things on your stomach is like, I don't like this. That you don't get that.
It's very light.
Yeah, you don't get that
Very
coffee
light.
breath and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
And still caffeine.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, there's
100%.
more
Good.
actually.
There's more caffeine on that
Really?
than in a
Yeah.
cup of espresso.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Interesting.
So you're
and
gonna
so
be like-
sugar and cream just covers up flavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Those are created just to camouflage.
It's ketchup.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you know what's funny? I heard you talking about Paris, Texas, and I went to Paris, Texas a long time ago. I went there because a buddy of mine, his wife at the time, her parents, they had like a sanctuary in there for animals. I can't remember the name. So it was
okay.
like a big farm. They had a rhino. So I have a picture of me petting it like a rhino.
In
like
Paris,
a
or outside of Paris, Texas.
Yeah,
That's
just
amazing.
just there. And
Wow.
I remember seeing the tower. I was like,
Yeah.
This is not Europe, but
When
it was super cool.
When
I
we go
loved
to
it.
Broken Bowl, this is where usually
Oh,
we
yes.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that is where a lot of people go and have cabins
Yeah.
there that live in Paris. That's their
Awesome.
getaway.
Yeah.
Good deal.
I love Broken Bowls.
So what's your take? Do you like this type of coffee?
Absolutely.
All right, let's give it a
100%
1,
recommend.
0 to 10.
0
What
to
is your
10.
score here?
For ground up set, let's see.
Well, let's give it a 9.5 for sure.
All right, very
9.5
good.
9.5 is solid.
Yes.
And if you want more coffee, you know how to find me. I definitely want to hear more of your story because, like Neander said, we know each other, but times like this is when you really hear stories and
Oh,
stuff.
yes.
So it's
And by
love
the end
that.
of the show, we're gonna have a cheerleader act by Italo,
No.
and then we're gonna.
I'm retired.
I got my
oh,
Italo.
oh, you can. Absolutely.
But
yeah,
Italo,
I'll, try-
yeah,
I'll,
and
show
we're
you a
gonna.
few
I'll do some
moves.
cartwheels and stuff.
Yeah, we're
For
gonna,
sure.
and we're gonna rate him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Got it. All right,
love it.
Jana, thank you so much for sharing a cup of
Absolutely.
coffee with me. And
Let's go.
talk to you guys in a few. All right, bye.
Welcome to Empire Living Solutions. This is a brand new business that we come out of a solution for a problem that we had. We're being struggling with buying material and goods for our apartment renovations. After 5 properties, over 750 units, we have a lot of turns. So by buying directly and forming our own brand to buy directly overseas and going to manufacturers and testing products, and after all these years we mastered and crafted these products, and now it's available to you, syndicator, operator, property management, or even if you do flips or developing new construction, anything. We have solutions for you to save on cost of material and have a one-stop shop so you can run your properties to the max performance.
All right, that was a good coffee.
That was nice. A nice break.
It sucks because every time like I'm here, like I want to get a coffee, but before it's like Italo, before we start, just give me a shot of espresso, and I just But then we record a bunch of shows during the day, and then by the end of the day, I'm like
Right.
lit up, about all this coffee that we try because actually professional tasters that just put it in their mouth and spit.
Really?
Yeah, because otherwise they'll go crazy.
Oh,
Yeah. Jana, now I want to get into the business, okay? So talk
Business, the
about,
good
first of all,
stuff.
the staging business, because I had a privilege to go to your one of your warehouses and see how amazing it is. You're like, talk a little bit, how'd you get that started? How'd you have that idea?
well, yes. I did fall into this, and I believe every challenge is the opportunity. And in college, back to the college days, I ended up getting a marketing degree. I thought, well, I can use this anywhere. And it was one of the things that I thought I can specialize into real estate and design, or I can just go marketing. And I remember my mom saying, you're never going to have your weekends if you do real estate. And so next best thing was just go into business. And 10 years into business, we had a home that we were about to sell. And we had actually moved into the other property, and now our home was empty that we were selling. And I said, well, what if I bring some furniture back in? And the agent said, you mean staging? Well, this is early 2000s, before HGTV. And I said, I guess staging, I've never heard of that term. He said, try it out. We had 2 offers in 2 weeks without a price adjustment, and I was sold. So I had gone corporate America, doing some things on the side for in I guess you could say design and painting people's homes. And then I thought the rest is history. If I have this problem and I've found a solution, I can be a solution to other people. That day, after receiving an agreement, I said, we've got to do this. We've got to go in. I recruited my best friend. We hit the ground running while kids were in school, and we started this staging business. We started working with people, and today we're one of the largest staging and design companies in the country. We started a training coaching company 15 years ago in that same industry of what not to do, and that parlayed into real estate investing and kind of where we are today. That business runs without me, thanks to my incredible team. Our sons work in that company as well, and it continues to produce without me.
Wow, that's amazing. And today, like you told me like a number, you can stage so many homes at the same time. That was pretty incredible.
They run 10 to 15 projects
Wow.
a week, and we've had as many over 100 properties staged at one time. And we have 10,000 square feet of warehouse space, over 8,500 projects and counting.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I went inside the warehouse and you like look up and down and there's mattresses, furniture, really, really nice. They all have their one unique, like so different. And who picks the designs now? You have a team that goes in and kind of matches the demographics, or is just more what the looks of the house kind of maintain that?
Well, every home is different, every area. So you have demographics, psychographics, price points. And so we have to know who the target buyer is and tailor that home to them so they can see themselves living there. And an empty home is just that. It has no character. And so we come in and we put some personality. We get it ready for a first date.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
awesome because like we're home shopping, Dad and I, and she really liked the houses that was furnished.
Oh,
and
yes.
They want, because I can't, because my background, I could see how things will look like architecturally, and it was all made in my head. Just like when we first go into this office, like, man, I can figure it out what this up. But some people just fall in love. Majority of them just, how, that's why we do have the model units in our, stage to buy you. But, when we have that, the person walks into a house or a home, an apartment, that is already, they see themselves living in it. Oh my God. And they even love the furniture.
That's right. Absolutely. And today people, they're busy and they want it done for them. I think the visionary, which you are definitely a visionary, you can see something. Someone that's more analytical, maybe like Delia, right? It's like she needs to see something and then she believes. So it really is kind of our DNA and how we're made up. In fact, 90% of people cannot envision.
90%.
Yes. And so I don't know that means that there's only 10% of us visionaries, but there's definitely art and science to preparing a property for sell or lease.
Wow. And Jana, I want to shift gears now that successful business is going by itself. And how did the real estate business, the investor, how did that came about?
Well, I can sense your love, just like I have this love for multifamily.
I know, right?
It's like,
that's
this
cool.
is not business, this is life. And this is all about building legacy. And I believe that for most of us, we just are missing the information. And now that we're exposed to information, whether it's from a seminar, a conference, an event, which was where I was exposed to it, now we can't unhear it. And it's up to us to either take that information and apply it and make it happen, or ignore it and say that's not for me or it's not the right time and delay the success. So action takers, they think about, how can this work for me? Once they understand it. And we jumped in, I would say a year of learning. And then that second year, we started applying and buying properties with partners like you guys. And we're on our seventh property that just closed. And we have 2 others accepted LOIs at the moment. And our
Nice.
PSAs are being redlined, and we'll be in 2 more properties within the next couple of months.
Wow, good job. That's amazing. But so when would you form a team? Talk about the Model Investor Alliance and how was that formed? Because I believe that you guys start investing by yourself, you and Tim.
We did.
As passive.
I would say we did. We believe in passive investing first, just so that you can ask questions and understand what you're doing and what you're getting into. If you want to be an investor, invest first. And that's a model that has been demonstrated to us. We invested passively with people that we wanted to ride on GP teams with. And that's how we worked. But before that is residential flipping, fix and flip, one door at a time, single family, lots of lessons there. We're now, 25 years into real estate, and all of that knowledge, I believe, was for such a time as this, that we could then have it applied to multifamily once we understood the model. And Model Investor Alliance comes back to, modeling investing and creating an alliance of people that are like-minded that want to accomplish the same goals.
That's amazing. And that's the opportunity and the type of education that a lot of people I didn't have that. I never heard about multifamily. I lived in apartments before. I drove through them, and we all, in my head at the time, I thought it was just owned by banks and people, and we had no chance. And I was like, this is not available. But a platform like yourselves of, bringing investors and educating them what the investment is. And that's just incredible, and I'm super glad to be, to watch you guys what the growth is, being part of a ConnectCon, which I want to promote here on this show today in just a little bit. But, talk about what is your ecosystem now, what you guys are trying to do for the investors to be part of your program and all that stuff.
Absolutely. Well, I think we had a kickstart back in the staging and design industry when we created a training and coaching company. I figured out what worked and what didn't work. What did people need? We were giving too much information, actually. Most people don't give enough, but we were literally overpowering with information. And so going into multifamily, we took the best of the best and had that knowledge applied. So now we see it almost as a sport. I think business is sport and sport is business. And if we're going to get on a football field, we better have the right partners, the right players, suited up, ready to go, knowing the playbook, or people get hurt. And that's how it is in multifamily. We thought we need a training system that gets them ready for first quarter, second quarter, halftime, third, and winning the game. So we really broke down our modules and our training by, first quarter is literally finding the asset, raising money for the asset, and all the things that happen at the beginning. Second quarter is actually closing. Did you know 1 out of 2 properties are not even going to close? And it's very sad. Why? Because people aren't ready. The game changed, right? Whether it is loans, whatever's going on. Then that third quarter is actually owning the asset. Fourth quarter is closing out and getting it ready to sell. And we have not been in that quarter yet because of the seasonality of the game, the industry. But we want to make sure that every asset, we know where we are. And in that quarter, in that season, we maximize it. And my goal is to always get a double. So people say a double in 10. I want to get the double in 5 to 7 years on an asset. One of our assets will have a double in 3 years.
Let's go. And it's interesting that when someone understand the concept of the real estate, they'll never do a single family again, because in the mind of that's how Dad and I started, like having one house, and then how can we scale this? And then it was like 1, 2 houses, 3, 4, 5, and then you managing those, and like it's going crazy. Instead of investing with a group of folks, that would make it so much easier. And it was like no brainer. I'll tell you this, and this is a message by Neander and Jana. If you guys are thinking of buying one single family right now, consider coming to a team that will push you forward, that you already only 137 units per se.
Right. I mean, we're buying
You don't have
businesses.
to do any of the work.
For sure. I think going from a single family mindset to a multifamily mindset is we have to understand we're buying businesses that should cash flow day one. They already have a team in place, that a coaching staff that we can come in, we can either, shift it if we need to, but it's a moving target on this transition. And so we have to be able to be prepared for takeover. And this is a business that we're going to appreciate, add value to. But I can't imagine once you learn this and you do it with the right people, that you guys are not just continuing to have hundreds of millions of dollars in assets. It absolutely can happen.
100%. And what is the outline now for the 5 years go for the company? You guys created this amazing program and platform. So what does the growth look like for that?
Well, you have to understand that one of my mentors is Grant Cardone.
Oh, that's right.
I have to mention Grant because, and he knows us now as the Dallas. He knows that we're here in Dallas. He always gives us accolades, and we are he never lets us think small. And so I couldn't imagine even speaking the words hundreds of millions, billions in real estate. But now that we have been in this and we're already over 130 million assets, right, in assets, I can totally see a way that we can get to 500 million easy. We are already at 1,000 doors. Where's 10,000, right? So it's all math. It's really math. And doing it with the right people makes all the difference. I'm sure you can attest to that.
100%.
So aligning your goals, knowing the areas that you are selecting these assets. We love the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We love Texas. We love, it's going to be our first love. And that is what we're looking for. 10,000 doors, over 500 million assets in assets within the next 5 years. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Will we make that happen with the key people that we're working with?
Absolutely. And that's a great way of putting in perspective, ambition. And that's one of the things I love about Grant. So people think it's crazy, but I actually think this is genius, man. It's like he's from easy perspective, go all in or go home, right?
That's right.
Go big or go home.
Well,
That's
he
what
says
said.
go big or go bigger. There's nothing at home.
There's nothing at home. 100%. That's awesome. Well, Jana, we have a few questions here that the team pull up, and we're going to know a little bit more in details. And this is the time to spilling the beans with Jana. Let's go. All right, so the team put some questions together here. So 5 hours on a connection between flies or a drive for 1 hour in a very dirty car.
2.
1 hour drive in a dirty car. Somebody told me you don't like.
No, I will be cleaning the car as we're driving. I hate connections.
I know, but I heard you
It's
don't
all
like dirty
time.
cars.
I do not like dirty cars. No.
Okay,
And I'm
so
sure
after-
my husband told you that.
After the show, we're gonna walk her to her car and see if her car is dirty.
Please do. I invite you.
All right, a lazy but efficient employee or a fast but not as efficient one.
Oh, goodness. Fast, because I'll make them efficient.
Good. All right, it's speak in front of 1,000 people in a bad hair type of day, or be in a main act in a stand-up comedy club.
Let's go 1,000 people.
With a bad hair day?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, that's good. Would you rather have everything you eat to be sweet or not sweet enough forever?
I don't know if calories count here, but let's go. The calories count, number 2.
All right. Heels at the beach or sandals at a muddy outdoor music festival? Ugh.
Let's go 2.
All right, she likes music festival. Very good. Okay, now on the real estate side, would you rather have a chiller property
No.
or a
2.
flat roof property?
2.
You'd rather have a flat roof?
Yes. Especially if it's an A. Let's go.
Very good. That completes the spilling the beans with Jana. Let's go. Jana, it's always a pleasure to have you here, part of our events, part of our everything that we do at Empire, being a partner. But at the time, I'd like to ask you, and for you to talk to the camera, what if you have to give a piece of advice for somebody that is starting in, but for most, they like, what advice do you give to yourself if you have to start all over again?
Well, I believe that it is the right information. Find the right information and then find the right people, because with the right information and the right people, you can take action faster. This is a team sport. You've got to find the right teammates, the right brokers, debt brokers, legal, and you can't be afraid to share, for sure.
Very good. And talk a little bit of how can people find you, find your team, and get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So we are at modelinvestoralliance.com. That's investoralliance.com. You can find us there, find our team, and get connected. We have free resources as well.
Very good. I appreciate you guys watching this today. This was an interview with awesome Jana Uselton. Thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing your vision, and sharing a little bit about what you do. I'm sure the audience will have tons of value. And this is the Real Grind Show, guys. Let's go.
And as always, thank you so much for watching The Real Grind. This episode is sponsored by ELS. So if you're looking for amazing quality, low price, look no further. EmpireLivingSolutions.com. Go check it out. We're a wholesale seller. So if you're trying to save some money and get good quality, look no further. And remember, we are on all your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, you name it. And don't forget, give us a follow. That's how you're gonna find out who's gonna be the next guest if you have anything going on. And once again, thank you so much for sticking around. This is The Real Grind. Let's go.
Waking up to success. Now we're getting it started. This is the real grind. Everything you've been wanting, building an empire, no question. Talking about real estate, investing, making the millions, no stopping. While we sip on, go and make coffee. The real grind. This is the real grind. Let's go.